The Home Assistant 2026.3 beta release has just dropped. This month's a little quieter compared to some of the other months, but there's still some cool stuff in here for energy dashboards, an automation update that I'm glad is finally getting added to the UI, an update for robot vacuums, an interesting experimental feature around voice activation, and then some other smaller features. Okay, so if you have a robot vacuum, then this one's for you. Home Assistant has created a way in this release to clean a specific area in your home using the vacuum.clean area action. It's always been kind of hit or miss when trying to clean an area or room in Home Assistant without having like direct vacuum vendor integration, because you would have to make sure that the ID matched between the two, both from the vendor app and then from Home Assistant side. You had to make sure that they were in sync. Now Home Assistant will do it for you. And so you can create a mapping of the Home Assistant room to the vendor room, and then your automation will be able to use your Home Assistant room name instead of having to rely on the vendor ID or room name in order for that to work. And what's also cool is that if your vacuum has to delete its map and rescan, your Home Assistant will also recognize that's happening and then let you know that the room mappings need to be updated. It currently works with Roborock, EcoVac, and any Matter vacuum. So if your robot vacuum supports Matter, then this should work. Unfortunately, I didn't see some of the other vendors like DreamE or TP-Link, for example, if you're using a standalone integration. I personally have a DreamE, but I use Valetudo, which uses MQTT, and I didn't see that working with this setup either, so hopefully in future updates, they'll be able to expand the compatible vacuums and allow this to work for pretty much any major brand or vendor. That'd be pretty sweet. This next one has kind of been a thorn in my side, so I'm glad to see that it's finally getting some attention in the UI. Imagine this. You've got an automation and it's got a bunch of actions that all have to happen one right after the other. Well, one in the middle breaks for whatever reason. Unless you've manually gone into the YAML code and changed some things, the automation would stop at that failed task and then just quit. With this update, Home Assistant has added the ability to allow an action to continue on error through the user interface instead of having to hard code it directly in the YAML. And so the new continue on error feature will hopefully make it easier to skip a failing action and then continue with everything else instead of just having this random task fail and having it cascade to all the tasks after it. If someone had something that relied on an external resource, like if someone had a REST API call to Spotify or something like that, then that would be another case where you might still want to allow your automation to continue. And so it's been available in the YAML for quite a while, but it's good to see that it was added to the user interface along with more and more options lately. Home Assistant is slowly moving away from having things be only in the YAML and allowing people to configure their automations through the user interface. And so this is a good step in the right direction to get that feature into the UI instead of just having it in the YAML. This next one is experimental, so don't have incredibly high hopes for this one. So if you do end up using this one, let me know, because I'd be interested in seeing if anyone else actually gives this one a try. So when it comes to voice activation, so your Android phone can actually become like a voice satellite. So it can kind of become like a Home Assistant voice in a way. So when you open up the Home Assistant companion app on your Android phone, you can configure it so that it supports on-device wake word detection, kind of like the Home Assistant Voice Preview Edition. It uses the same stuff that the Home Assistant Voice uses under the hood, but now it's in the companion app. So no audio goes to the cloud, there's no cloud processing, it happens all on your phone. It can still use the 3 default wake words. And so if you have a Home Assistant voice and you also have an Android phone and you say, hey, what's the weather outside? Home Assistant is smart enough to figure out which one was closest to you and will only respond through that device. So if you had like 2 Home Assistant voices in your phone, that way if you ask the temperature outside, you don't get 3 responses from 3 different things. Now, this requires that the Home Assistant app be running 24/7, 365 on your phone in order for this to work. It also requires continuous microphone access in order to be able to run and process the commands. Unfortunately, Google doesn't allow third-party developers to access the hardware-accelerated voice detection with the wake word, but unfortunately, it's not really super great because it requires the app always be running. I wish Google would open this up to third-party developers with the right credentials. Maybe now that Home Assistant is one of the largest projects out there on GitHub, maybe Home Assistant can throw its weight around and see if it can unlock that API for third-party developers. And it's currently only for Android phones, no word for iPhone or iOS versions of this at the time. Maybe there will be some other future update that enables it for iPhones, but Apple is even more strict when it comes to privacy than Google is, so I would assume that it would kind of be a similar mechanism for Apple in addition to Google, but we'll see what happens. There's some smaller updates this month for the energy dashboard. In the Now tile, there is a card that shows you the real-time power consumption of your gas, your water, and your electricity. And speaking of electricity, the energy tab has been renamed to be electricity. That way you can see electricity, water, and gas all as separate tabs instead of just having an energy tab, which is a little vague. And another useful detail is that on the bar charts, it will now show the day of the week instead of just like the date. So instead of just March 3rd, 2019 or whatever, it will now show Tuesday, March 23rd, 2019. So this lets you track different trends. You could be like, oh, wow, I used a ton of electricity on Wednesdays for some reason. And so this lets you get a better picture of the day of the week instead of just the date. That way you don't have to try and like figure it out yourself or look at a calendar app or something like that. There's a few other smaller changes this month. Voice control can now delete items from lists instead of just being able to complete them. So you can say like remove eggs from the grocery shopping list or something like that. And it will actually be able to remove that item instead of just marking it as complete. For the statistics graph card, you can now have the year as the time period. So that makes it easier to do in the UI instead of editing YAML. The security dashboard will now include covers, like window covers. Like if you have blinds that you have like a car or SwitchBot blinds opener that will twist the little bar open, that will be in your security dashboard. And the different protocol settings pages, like for Zigbee or Z-Wave or Matter or whatever, those have been better organized to hopefully make it a little clearer and easier to find and to use. Nothing really dramatic. As always, make sure to check the breaking changes and the integration updates. I didn't really see any integration updates this month that stood out to me, but there might be something in there for you, so be sure to check that one out. Speaking of Zigbee, the Aqara FP300 is a wireless presence sensor that supports Zigbee and Thread, depending on the firmware. But the SwitchBot presence sensor is Bluetooth and is a strong contender. If you're interested in checking out which one is the better sensor, I did a full breakdown of those here, comparing them across 5 different categories, and I'll see you there.